You know, people often think that being a firefighter is all about heroics and saving lives. They picture us charging into burning buildings, rescuing kittens from trees. But the truth is, it's not always glamorous. Sometimes it's downright haunting. I'll never forget one particular night, my first shift in a small town where everyone knows everyone. It was supposed to be a quiet evening, but when the alarm went off, we found ourselves racing toward the outskirts of town. There was a house on fire. It was old, maybe 100 years or more. The flames danced wildly, consuming the wooden structure, and the smoke twisted up into the dark sky. When we arrived, the neighbors were gathered, faces illuminated by the glow of the fire, their expressions a mix of fear and curiosity. As we set up our equipment, I heard whispers among the crowd. "It's the old Wilkins place," someone said. "They say it's cursed." I brushed it off. People love to spin tales about old houses, especially ones like this, abandoned, filled with memories, and now apparently a raging inferno. We got to work, battling the flames, but as we fought our way into the house, something felt wrong. The air was thick, almost suffocating, and there was a strange smell. A combination of burnt wood and something else, something I couldn't quite place. As we made our way through the smoke, I thought I heard something. A faint cry. I shook my head, chalking it up to the stress of the moment. But then, just as I was about to turn back, I saw her. A little girl, standing in the hallway, her eyes wide with fear. She looked just like any child, tousled hair, dirty face. But there was something off about her. She was dressed in a tattered white dress, almost like a nightgown, and she didn't seem to be moving. "Help me," she whispered, her voice barely audible over the crackling flames. My heart raced. I reached out to her, but before I could get any closer, she vanished into the smoke. I felt a jolt of panic. "Where did she go?" I shouted to my partner, but he didn't hear me over the chaos. We continued battling the flames, and I tried to shake off what I had seen. Eventually, we managed to bring the fire under control. We searched the house for anyone trapped inside, but we found nothing. No signs of the girl, just charred remains and an overwhelming sense of dread. Afterward, while we were packing up, I saw one of the neighbors standing alone, staring at the rubble. I approached him, and he looked up, eyes filled with sorrow. "Did you see her?" he asked, voice shaking. "Who?" I replied, puzzled. "The girl. They say she's been seen before, lost in that house, for years." I felt a chill run down my spine. I asked him what he meant, and he told me the story. The Wilkins family had lived there generations ago. One night, during a terrible storm, their little girl went missing. They searched for her for days, but she was never found. Eventually, the family left, and the house fell into disrepair. "But people still see her," he continued, "always near the fire. They say she's looking for help." That night, I couldn't shake the feeling of the girl's eyes on me, her cry echoing in my mind. I tried to sleep, but images of her haunted my dreams. Weeks passed, and I thought I put it behind me. But then one evening, we got another call. This time, it was a simple fire in a nearby field, but as we arrived, I felt that same heavy air from before. And there she was again, standing at the edge of the flames, watching me. My heart dropped. "Help me!" she called out, and before I could respond, she vanished once more. From that day on, I knew I could never escape her. Each fire we responded to, I'd catch glimpses of her, always in the periphery, always pleading. It became a sickening pattern. I'd see her at every call, as if she was tethered to me, drawing me into her dark past. One night, I finally decided to confront it. I went back to the ruins of the Wilkins house, determined to find some closure. As I stood there, the wind howled around me, and I felt her presence. "Why are you here?" I whispered into the night. "What do you want from me?" In response, I heard her voice, clearer than ever. "Help me. Find me." Suddenly, I was overwhelmed with a vision, a flash of the house, the stormy night, and the terrified girl running through the halls, lost and alone. I realized she was trapped, forever wandering the ashes of her own tragedy. In that moment, I understood my role. I vowed to uncover her story, to find out what happened to her. Maybe if I could bring her story to light, she could finally rest. So, I've made it my mission. Each fire, each response, I take notes, speak to the old-timers, unravel the tangled threads of the town's history. And every night when I close my eyes, I see her, waiting for me to help her find peace. So if you hear of a fire, remember, it's not always just flames and smoke. It's a haunting reminder of the lost souls.